Hey guys, welcome back to Ask Snes. Yeah, a Merry Christmas to you all. This is going to be a Christmas special, so I thought I'd just get on here because I've had quite a few questions from the last video, and I do a nice Christmas Ask Snes. So I hope you enjoy this, guys. So sit back, relax, get a drink, chill out, enjoy your time away from work and life, and let's get stuck straight in. So the first question is, well, first set of questions comes from a good mate, Alex, BlueTonic78. Hello, Alex. Thank you, mate. So Alex says, right, first question, let me say. Okay, so Pete, as we all know, the Amiga is a cracking bit of kit. Indeed it is. I've recently grabbed an Amiga 600 and I'm loving it just as much now as I did all those years ago. So before the inevitable happens and everyone else in the community starts buying one, so true, when are you going to have one? 2018 at some point. I don't know when, but yes, I would like to get an Amiga 600. Now, obviously, if you've watched my channel before, you know that I had a 500 as a kid, so that's my nostalgia machine. But I don't have the space for a 500, and also practically with the 500 because I would love, after what I've been watching a great guy recently called Paul, who Alex recommended. His name is Mr. Bad's Retro Games. I think that's right. Apologies, Paul, because I'm just doing it off the top of my head. There will be a link in the description. Go and check out Paul's channel. He's absolutely brilliant. Really nice guy. Amazing big box Amiga collection, an amazing Mega Drive collection. He also collects for the XT as well. Incredible. I love watching his videos. And so Paul's really got me thinking, oh God, I'd love to get back into big box Amiga games. But I'm always put off by the fact that the discs may not work, and some of them are very expensive, and I don't want to pay all that money and have the game not work. Plus, when I had the 500 like 2 years ago, I think it was, I had problems with the disk drive, so I think, oh, do I want to go through that again? I'd have to buy a GoTech instead. No. So I think what the best thing to do is just buy a 600, get a compact flash, and just play. It's sort of emulation, but it's not, is it? You know what I mean? You're playing on original hardware. But yeah, do it that compact flash way. I think that's the best way. So eventually, yes, I would like a 600, hopefully next year. Question 2. When are you going to do gameplay vids again, or is it something which you just simply can't be bothered with these days? It's not that I can't be bothered, it's that I can't do them. Because the way I used to do them, as everyone knows, I used to just shoot the CRT. But this crap phone won't let me do that. It has to shoot at 24 frames. Unfortunately, the app on the phone doesn't allow, well, this phone doesn't allow the app to record at 24 frames. I don't know. Technology's bollocks these days. So the other option is to do capture. But I've looked into retro capture and it's so bloody complicated and expensive as well, because, you know, obviously I use a microphone to get the audio. So then I've got to find a way of syncing up the audio, and that looks like a pain in the arse. And I just think, oh, I don't know if I can be bothered with it all. It's so much aggravation. I'd like to do it, but it's expensive. You know, you got to get a decent capture, and I can't use a PC capture device like I'm blanking on the name of that one that Alex has got that everybody uses, because my PC's in a different room. It's just too much aggravation to do that, because I have no way of. In fact, no, that's probably a bollocks. Actually, I probably can do it, can't I? Oh, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of aggro. I'd rather just find an easy solution. It's a shame nobody's come up with a device yet that you can just plug a bloody RGB SCART in and just capture it. It'd be so much easier. If you could plug your RGB SCART in, plug your microphone in, capture it all in one video, it would save all the aggravation, but, you know, it'd probably be a while before that ever happens, if it does. So I would like to make them, it's just the technicalities of trying to do one are limiting me to do it. Question number 3. It's sometime off happening, but do you think you'll get into the next generation of consoles, or do you get a feeling the PS4 could be your last hurrah when it comes to modern gaming? I don't know. I was talking to Alex about this the other night, actually. This is why he's asking the question. I haven't really been that excited by this generation, if I'm honest with you. Xbox is almost all but dead now. Microsoft, I don't know what they're playing at. They're limiting themselves to like 4 exclusive titles, and that's it. They don't seem to be asked about bringing anything else out. They're more interested in just pushing hardware. So Xbox is probably going to die eventually. And I know there's been rumours for years that Microsoft, like the people at the top, want the Xbox division gone anyway. So that'll probably happen. And I just feel like Sony's just not really doing it for me. You know, they're obsessed with indie games. That's all they want to push, and digital and all that other shit that I'm not interested in. And when it comes to AAA titles, all the games I want to play, like Spider-Man, God of War, Days Gone, Detroit, Last of Us 2, they're so far off, and they seem to announce games at one point in E3, and then you have to wait like 2 years before you get to play it, and that's just not good enough. It's just, you know, I'm getting bored. I've got nothing to play, and all the games that come out this year that everyone raved about didn't interest me. So I don't know what to do really. It's a bit crappy. I've been playing Uncharted 4 again for the 6th time. That's where I'm at now with gaming. So the only thing that interests me is the Switch, and I would love to try and get a Switch next year because they've been bringing out some great titles, and it just appeals to me a lot more. And you've got cartridges, which is really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about next generation. I really don't. I'll wait and see. I mean, I'm not going to say no because, you know, it's years away. It could be like 2 years before we get a new set of consoles. So who knows where I'll feel that way. And if it was all fully digital, then I wouldn't even bother anyway. But at the moment, I don't know because this generation has been pretty underwhelming for me personally. Obviously, for you guys out there that are enjoying it, that's great. But for me, I haven't really got a whole lot out of it. There have been some good games. It just seems to be a bit low on the ground for the AAAs. Right, okay. Yeah, and that's... I hate the fact that everybody on YouTube has to quantify everything they say, because if you don't, some knobhead will go in the comments and give you shit, or multiple people will. You know, it's just like be secure in your own likes and dislikes. That's the way I look at it. But yeah, I mean, there's been some good games, but I don't play RPGs for instance. People love RPGs. I have no interest in playing them. So that's a whole genre that I'm not going to be playing, and there's quite a few of them knocking around. So I am limited with the genres that I enjoy. But there you go. Anyway, number 4, BMX, races and mountain bikes. Which one or which ones did you have as a kid? So I had a BMX and I had a mountain bike as well. Oh, I had my favourite one was my Rally Wildcat, which was a BMX, and it had a little box on the front that made sounds, and it had like plastic with the Wildcat symbol. I love that bike. That bike was so cool. That Christmas morning, we lived in the Grove at the time, and I woke all the neighbours up. I was just burning up and down the Grove, blasting the noises out and annoying the neighbours. Fantastic. Then I had a red Diamondback mountain bike a few years later, which was absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, it got stolen by some scumbag, but way it goes, isn't it? That was in 1992. That was. Yeah, it was. It was either on bonfire night or just before, which is November the 5th for anyone outside the UK. So yeah, I was doing my paper round and I left my bike outside and didn't tie it up, and some little shit come past and stole it, bastard. So yeah, I was really pissed off over that because that Diamondback was a fantastic bike. But you know, there's scumbags out there, so what can you do? Okay, thanks Alex. Next question comes from a good mate Murray, Mr. Muzz247365. Thank you, Murray. Okay, let me see what he's asked. Alright, question. How big is your gaming pile of shame? Those titles you bought but never got around to playing. I think most gamers end up with this issue at some point. I'm not that bad, to be honest, mate. In retro, yeah, most of them I've got to play through completely. You know, so yeah, that's a decent amount there. There's about 20 odd titles I've got to work my way through. Modern game, I don't really have that problem because I'm not, like, no disrespect to Alex, I'm sure you won't mind me saying this, but old Blue Tonic there, for a while, he had a drawer full of Xbox games, all sealed Xbox One games that he hadn't played, because he was just literally buying everything as it comes out, and he was like, oh, I'll just get to it when I get to it. So I've never been like that. I just really just buy a game that I really want to play, put it in the machine, play it all the way through to the end, and then I buy a new game. I'm not, with modern gaming, I've never really been, or whatever the current gen is, I've never really been one for being able to buy every game that comes out, and because I just don't want to have that situation where I'm darting between two games, or I'm looking at the pile going, Jesus Christ, I've got to get to all them. I'd rather just be able to chill out and play my game. Also, we'd love to hear your thoughts on The Last Jedi, but understand it's hard to avoid spoilers. It is, so I'm not gonna. So if you haven't seen The Last Jedi, be warned, I probably will spoil it for you now. So if you don't want to hear, just skip forward. So yeah, Last Jedi, I saw it when it came out, which was what, last week now, I think it was, about a week ago. Yeah, I really liked it actually. I thought it was a really good film. I know from what I've seen online, there's been a lot of positive. There's been an extreme, over-the-top positive from a lot of critics before the film came out, which I thought was silly because it's never going to live up to that hype. And now apparently there's like a stupid backlash with people going, oh, it's the biggest load of shit ever. And it's like, no, it's not. Don't be stupid. It's a really decent film. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought that the way they handled the characters was great. Poe was really good in it. Finn didn't have a lot to do, but still, John Boyega's brilliant. Daisy Ridley did a great job with Rey. I really like the new character of Rose and the love interest for Finn. I thought Luke was good. Yeah, I mean, he's alright. I mean, yeah. He didn't do a lot. He just sat on an island for most of the film, but yeah, he was good. Leia was really good. I thought, Carrie Fisher did a great job. Obviously, the flying through space thing didn't really bother me. I know my mate Steve Gasshead was like, that's just bullshit. And I was like, yeah, but it's just a force, isn't it? You just accept that. It's a fantasy film, you know, you don't take this shit seriously. I just go, oh yeah, she's got the force, all right, and that's how she's flying through space when she's dead. We'll just accept that. Yeah, most of the time I really enjoyed the film. I felt, some people have said the runtime is too long. I didn't really feel that. I felt that 2.5 hours was just right. And for me, it kind of zipped along. At the beginning of the film was a little bit slow getting started, and I thought, oh, I don't know about this. But then once he got going, I was like, yeah, this is fine. I really like that. I'm not going to be able to remember the planets and all this, but the planet where the casino is, I really like that. It was a bit short, but very good. I love the little drunk dude that comes up and puts coins in BB-8 and puts his drink on top of him. I thought that was really funny. And especially as it leads up to a joke later on where BB-8 takes out some enemies with the coins by throwing them at him, and then his little thing comes out and he blows it. That was really cool. Yeah, I finally had a really good time with the film. I'm not a nitpicky guy, so you know I'm not going to talk about all the stuff that other people talk about with film. The only things I had an issue really was a little bit slow at the beginning, and Yoda. Yoda just felt really shoehorned in. He just randomly appears, and I was like, all right, I can understand it because you know he's just there for Luke and all this, but I don't like Yoda as a character personally. I find him kind of irritating, but I just like, what's the point? You're just throwing him in there for the sake of it. A bit like the way people are saying about Maz Kanata. They just threw her in there and it made no real sense in terms of the story, in terms of the characters knowing who the hell she is. And Finn had only met her once, which I can understand that. But I don't really take this shit seriously. It's a sci-fi fantasy film. I just go with what they give me and it's like, yeah, whatever. It doesn't have to make sense. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, there's plot holes. Because of course there's plot holes. All films have plot holes. No film is perfect. And a sci-fi fantasy film, you really shouldn't be looking for plot holes. You know, you're supposed to just sit back, absorb it, and enjoy the space battles. That's the way I look at it. And the other one thing that didn't work for me, the majority of the film, the comedy was really good and it worked. It was funny. It landed. But the beginning part with Poe and General, is it General? I don't know, Hux anyway. That was shit. That didn't work. For me, I was just sitting there watching it and I was like, what the hell's going on? I understood that what the joke was supposed to be, putting him on hold, and he was stalling. But they did it like 3 times and it just sort of didn't work. It didn't land at all. It wasn't funny. And it was really awkward. And it felt to me like a sketch, like a Family Guy sketch or something. I was like, this is weird. So that was a bit shit. That didn't work. But yeah, that was it really. It was a bit slow at the beginning. The comedy with Poe and Hux didn't work, and Yoda. Other than that, I really enjoyed the film. I didn't enjoy it as much as Force Awakens or Rogue One, given. I thought those 2 films were better. But for what it was, I had a lot of fun with it and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, I won't rank my films because I'm going to do a top 10 movies of 2017. So I'll talk about my ranking in that video. So yeah, there you go. Right, who's next? Let me see. Okay, so Skono1 or Skono1, I'm not too sure how you say that yet. In your opinion, which classic retro games do you think are spoiled by a brutal difficulty level, and which do you think get it just right? That's really hard, mate, off the top of my head. I'm trying to think. I was playing a game the other day. What was I playing the other day? And it just felt like it was just beating me down for no reason. In fact, it was probably Mega Turrican actually. I think that was what it was. Yeah, it was Mega Turrican. When you get to the Geiger level with the xenomorphs, it's when you get past that bit and the screen scrolls from left to right and it's just going rapid. You have to keep jumping. I was getting so pissed off trying to do that. I tried so many times. Eventually I did it and I finished the game and I was well chuffed, but that was bullshit, that was. It just felt like it was just being difficult for difficult's sake. But now I've done it, I realise it ain't that hard. It's probably just me getting annoyed. Most of the games, I think most of the 16-bit games, they seem to really get the difficulty just right and they balance it nicely. Modern games don't. Some of the modern games, they just are hard for the sake of it. The classic of getting to the end of the game and they just throw everything at you, the kitchen sink basically. And it's like, there's no need to do that. You know, Lazarevich on Uncharted 2 is one that always comes to mind. A perfect game until you get to Lazarevich and it ruined the game. Because the game is so brilliant, but that stupid bloody boss battle at the end, you're just running around in a bleeding circle. I've lost my rag so many times trying to fight that twat. I hate that part of the game. The rest of the game, brilliant. Absolutely love it. One of my favourite games of all time. Favourite Uncharted game, but God, that battle at the end, so annoying. Right, next one. Okay, so Sharp557 asks, as the price of retro games continue to climb, do you ever worry that the hobby is draining you of money and stopping you from doing other things, i.e. travelling? Not really, to be honest. I mean, the prices are ridiculous, and I'm in a better place now. I'm not really in the complete collector's mindset, so obviously I still have a little bit of that, but not the way I used to. And so I'm not really one that's going to be going, oh, I'm just going to throw 500 quid at a game, because I'm not going to do it. It's just ridiculous. And, you know, to be quite honest, mate, if I wanted to go and travel and do things, I would just do it. I'd just save the money up and do it. And, you know, I'd just put this to one side. That's how different I am now. I feel completely chilled out of it. You know, I've just got these games. I'm not that bothered about buying anymore at the moment. I'll wait until 2018. And I'm just happy just playing them. So, yeah, for me, it's not the way it used to be. It doesn't really affect me in that way. Okay, so Mark, Sega sent me one. Hello, Mark. A couple of questions for Mark. He asks, favourite movie based on video games, but not actually based on a particular game, i.e. the Lawnmower Man. Right, so, yeah, so it means so like Lawnmower Man was a video game movie, but not based on a property. What's that bloody film called? I've just forgotten. That's really annoying. I can see the animated film with Fix It Felix. You know which one it is, and I can't think what he's called, the main character. Oh shit, that's annoying. Hang on a minute. Because I really like that film. How can I not remember that? That's really weird. Wreck-It Ralph, I've just remembered it. That was it. God, everyone's just screaming at me going, I'm like that when I watch John Campio and he can't remember something, I'm screaming at the screen. It's like this. Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph, that's mine. I absolutely love that. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for the sequel. I assume you may have heard that Disney has purchased 20th Century Fox for a staggering amount of money. Yeah, $52 billion, I think it was, something crazy like that. What's your thoughts on this? Do you see an improvement for Fox now, or is it worse off under Disney's helm? Well, basically, I mean, what's happened is Disney, if anyone doesn't know, Disney have now purchased some of the assets from Fox. So they haven't actually purchased Fox, they've just purchased some of their assets. So like 20th Century Fox, their TV division I think was one as well, and a few other things. So basically what happens now is, if anyone doesn't know this, in terms of films, for example, a few years ago Marvel had to sell some of their properties. I think they were in financial difficulty and that's why I did it. And so they sold Spider-Man, the rights of Spider-Man went over, it's still a Marvel property, but the rights went over to Sony, and the rights for the X-Men and the Fantastic Four went over to Fox. So whenever you watch a Fantastic Four, an X-Men or a Spider-Man film, you'll see either the Fox logo, the Sony logo, and then you'll see the Marvel logo as well. So now Disney acquired Marvel a few years back, and because they own Marvel, they're now taking over the Fox assets, and then they're going to bring X-Men and the Fantastic Four back into the fold with Marvel. And recently with Spider-Man, Sony still have the rights for Spider-Man, but did a deal with Marvel to get the Spider-Man Homecoming movie out because The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a pile of shit. I don't know at the moment, to be honest, what this Fox deal's going to do. No one does. It's too early to say. I'm trying to see. I mean, I don't see it's going to be a bad thing, is it really? It means that we're probably going to get X-Men and Fantastic Four movies in the MCU, which is a good thing. You know, I didn't actually mind the last Fantastic Four. It wasn't a great film by any means, and it rushed at the end, but I kind of enjoyed it. It was all right. The X-Men films have always been up and down for me. You know, the last couple, I didn't like Days of Future Past. I thought it was boring as shit, but I absolutely loved Apocalypse, and yet everybody else disagrees with me on that, but that's fair enough. I loved the First Class film. That was fantastic. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really worry too much, because if Disney are taking those properties, they're just going to give them to Kevin Feige at Marvel and say, yeah, make something great, and he will, because Marvel do make great movies, so I don't worry too much about that. What else did he ask there? Do you see an improvement for Fox? I mean, to be fair, Fox is Murdoch, so I don't really give a shit, 'cause Murdoch's an arsehole. And is it worse under Disney's helm? Definitely not, no. And apparently I was reading as well, there might be an issue with Sky News, it might get canned. Brilliant. So that's a bonus, isn't it? I hope that works out. Apparently Sky News hasn't been doing particularly well in the ratings anyway, and under this deal it could end up with it getting ditched, which would be fantastic, because they're a bunch of scumbags. So, yeah. Right, do you think England should make bigger new cities, vast roads, bigger areas? It's so hectic everywhere these days, it's getting harder and harder to find some peaceful spots. Too much urban sprawl. Towns connect too easily, maybe. Yeah, I don't like making everything to cities. I left the city because it was too crowded and it's just too noisy, and I just wanted some peace and quiet. So I came down south, and you know, Western has now gotten bigger and is now becoming a city itself. They're just building all the time, and I don't understand what the point is. You know, they can't, they don't have the infrastructure to support it either, which I find really stupid. You know, the job situation isn't great down in the southwest if you live in a coastal town. So most people travel to Bristol, and now we've got people moving from Bristol down to Weston because Bristol house prices are too expensive, and so they're obviously building more houses in Weston to make space for these people, and it's just getting silly. They're just building houses everywhere. They've got these stupid developers coming from out of town wanting to build everywhere. They're a pain in the arse, and they've just built a massive complex in the middle of the town. They've got a new cinema, even though we've already got a cinema, but they built another one. It's just crazy. I just don't like it at all. I think they need to understand that people move to the countryside, to the seaside, to get away from being surrounded by millions of people and just being crushed in, and just the noise and the cacophony of a city. You know, people like quiet lives. Not everybody wants to live in the city. So I don't understand why local councils and the government don't understand that. But hey, what can you do? Do you like Wonder Boy and Monster Land? Monster World, even for the Mega Drive. I've not played it, mate, so I don't know. I've never played many Wonder Boy games. I think I played Wonder Boy on the Commodore 64, and that was probably it. So, right, next up, let's have a look. All right, Nat Kennedy Breeze. Hello, Nat, over there in New Zealand. So Nat asks, how badly would you want to have a game to be prepared to purchase it digitally? It'd have to be bloody difficult. It'd have to be a really, really, really good game, mate, for me to do that. I can't even think. If they were to say that it was digital to start with, but if they get enough people behind it, they'll eventually make it go physical, I might be interested, because then I could buy a physical copy later on. And it all comes down to price as well. I'm not paying proper money for a digital game, I don't see the point. You know, like AAA games at 60 quid and higher. Bullshit, I'm not paying that for a digital game. And the indie stuff's a lot cheaper, I understand that. And obviously you can get bargains and deals and stuff. But if you want to be there when it comes out, it costs a bit more. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be really tough for me to do that. Do you think there should be a second Brexit referendum? Oh, lovely politics. Regarding the deal the UK strikes with the EU? No. That's as simple as that. No, we should not have a second referendum at all. I know that they've now said that they've agreed. They had a vote the other day, don't they? And then the Parliament, I think, is going to vote. To be fair, mate, I've stopped paying attention to politics over the last probably 6 or 8 months. I've really just given up on the news and the media and all that shit. So I'm not 100%, but I did hear that I believe Parliament's now going to have a vote on the actual deal. So I assume that will mean that when the deal is on the table, they'll have a vote if they agree with the deal or don't agree with the deal. And if they don't agree with the deal, that means that we leave without a deal and we basically just make the best of it. Which, yeah, probably ain't the best idea in the world. But, you know, I don't agree with this whole no deal thing. I think it's a bit dangerous because we just don't know what the outcome is anyway. And it's better to have some kind of deal with the European Union than to have no deal at all. You know, I mean, I don't know. I definitely don't want a second referendum, though. The people have spoken. We had our vote. We were given the referendum. We made our decision. That's the end of it. Get it done. Get us out and let's move on. Because it's driving me mad. This is another reason I'll stop watching the news and the media and Question Time and all the politics shows, because it's just Brexit, Brexit, Brexit. Oh, whinge, whinge, whinge. Oh, it's Brexit. It's a shit thing. And, you know, you're all a load of twats for voting for it, and none of you understood what you're voting for. Bollocks. Anyway, how do your political beliefs differ from yourself when you started YouTube? They haven't. I mean, maybe, you know, when I was younger, my political views I know have changed since I was like 20, for instance, when Tony Blair came to power. I had different ideas back then, as we all do, because when you're younger, you're very idealistic. You're sort of left-wing, really. You know, you think the world's one thing when it's actually not. It's a totally different thing. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much centre these days. I can go left of centre or right of centre, depending on the issue. You know, I'm liberal on things like prostitution and drugs. And but when it comes to crime and punishment, I'm a bit more right-wing. I'm not all the way over there. I'm just right of centre. But, you know, I believe in, you know, proper sentencing. But I also, on the left-hand side, also believe in rehabilitation and actually doing the right thing to help people and not jailing people just for the sake of it. Like, if you're caught with some weed, you shouldn't be jailed. It's dumb. You know, people should only be in jail for proper crimes, serious crimes. That's the way I look at it anyway. We should be trying to help people. Like, long-term addicts, what's the point of jailing them? That's going to do no good at all. We need to give them help and to rehabilitate them and try and get them off the drugs and to turn their life around. There's no point just chucking them in prison. That don't solve anything. Do you think part of the reason that you dislike RPGs is because of the largely fantasy setting? I've never really thought about it that way. Maybe that could be. I mean, I'm not a big. I've said before, I'm not a big fantasy guy. I don't, like trolls and shit and swords and sandals and all that crap don't do anything for me. And like the whole Game of Thrones thing, it never really interested me at all. So that could be part of what it is actually. But I think the main reason's always been I just don't understand them. I don't. Any other game, you can give me a controller, not tell me what to do, and I'll just work it out. RPGs, I haven't got a clue because it seems to be a lot of wandering around, talking to people, figuring things out, and going fetching something for someone, coming back, and I can't be arsed with all that. And they're also extremely long. A lot of them take, many hours to complete, and I just think, I ain't got the time or patience. What is the weirdest fast food product that you've ever heard of? Battered Mars bar. But that's about it, really. I think. Yeah, I don't know too much, mate. To be honest. Okay. Right, old school variety face. Thank you for the questions, mate. What do you think of the new Eminem album? I've not listened to it, so I don't know. I'll be honest, mate. I don't really listen to rap anymore, like hip hop. What was the last hip hop album or albums that I really enjoyed were probably Nicki Minaj's first two albums, Chamillionaire's Victory album, and Yellow Wolf's Radioactive. So I'm really out the loop. I haven't got a clue what's going on in the scene anymore. When I was a teenager, I was deep into it, but now I ain't got a bloody clue, to be honest. I'm so far behind. So I will actually have a listen to it, see if it's any good. If you could punch anyone dead in the face with no repercussions, who would it be and why? Piers Morgan. Why wouldn't you? But I'm not a violent person, so I wouldn't do it. But yeah, if it was a life or death situation, then Piers Morgan. Do you believe in life after death? I don't like to use the word believe because that's about like belief systems and religion and all that. I just think that I'm open to it. Yeah, of course. You've got to be open-minded about it. No one knows the truth. It could be that we just die and it goes black and that's the end of it. Or we could die and our soul leaves our body because this is just a vessel after all. And then we move on to something else. For all we know, there's the possibility that aliens created us. That's a theory. There's so many theories and possibilities, and I'll never discount any of them because you just don't know what the truth is. There could be an invisible man in the clouds who created it all, we don't know. There could be aliens that created us as an experiment, and then when we die, we go back up there. It could be this is the Matrix and it's all a lie, and that once we die, we're actually just disconnected from the machine like Neo. No one knows the truth. No one will know because no one has died and come back, honestly come back. People will pretend that they have on videos and things. I've been watching a lot of videos about people claiming to be time travellers lately. That's a fun one. There's some right nutters out there, I'll tell you. Nintendo Switch, you're missing out. I know I am, mate. I really want one, but they're expensive and I can't afford it. But yes, next year I'm trying to get one. I really want a Switch. I want to play Mario Odyssey more than anything. That game looks so bloody good. It's had so many great reviews. Yeah, and they've just announced a Street Fighter, was it 30 year anniversary collection, which is coming out on Switch, PS4 and PS3. And to be fair, it would be cool to have it on the Switch. So, and obviously they've got Ultra Street Fighter 2 and they've got Mario Kart 8, which I'm not 100% about because I didn't like it on the Wii U, but I might try it. Splatoon 2, I want to try it. I've never played Splatoon, so I want to try that. Yeah, man, I think the Switch is fantastic, so I'm dying to get one. Okay, choice. Living life never speaking to a human being again and feeling happy, or having to make conversation and pretending to be happy surrounded by other humans. That's a deep philosophical one, mate. Bloody hell. I'd have to go with the second option. I know it's not the greatest option in the world, pretending to be happy. I know what that feels like, but yeah, at least you're surrounded by people. Not having humans around you, not having that interaction is a bad thing. We're a social species. We're supposed to have interactions with each other. When you lock yourself away from people, it messes with your head, trust me. All right. Blaze V. So Blaze is asking, do you ever enjoy expanded universe fiction for some of your favourite games, films, TV shows, etc.? I'll be honest, mate, I assume you mean like Star Wars. You have all the books and everything. I don't read anything like that, so I'm assuming that some of them do like comics and cartoons and stuff like animated. Sorry, yeah, no, I don't get involved in all that. Okay, Big King Bacon asks, any arcade memories? I remember being at Pontins when Turtles came out in the arcade. You could hardly see the machine for crowd of kids. That's a great machine, that was, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, the biggest one for me, I think I've mentioned it before, was when I went to Wales with the family. And it was me and mum and dad, my uncle and his kids, my aunt and uncle and their kids, because me and my cousin were close. And yeah, it's just the three cabinets. It was Final Fight, Operation Wolf, Pit Fighter, and I'm just going back and forth between all of them. We clocked Pit Fighter a pound ago, I believe £1 ago, but we sat there and we crushed this machine, and there's people around us watching us play it, using Thai, because I mean it's dead easy with Thai. Yeah, I was well chuffed with that. It was brilliant, and trying to beat Final Fight and just not doing it because it's impossible. And there was a gambling machine or something, and it stole my money and I smashed it, and the bloke around the arcade had a go at me. I just give it a good crack. Right, Biscuits. Do you have any games you're looking forward to in 2018, and what are they? I honestly, mate, I don't have a clue what's coming out next year. I'm pretty certain that Detroit Become Human comes out in 2018. So I'd have to say that one, because I really want to play that game. It looks fantastic. Especially after seeing the recent demo at the PlayStation Experience. It looks so good. But yeah, other than that, I have no idea what's coming out. And the Street Fighter Anniversary on Switch, obviously. But that's about it, really. Big King Bacon, Desert Island question. Stranded on Desert Island, can only take one console, one game. What would it be? Super Nintendo. Now, the game's a hard one because you've got to have something you can play over and over. I'd probably just go with Mario World because it's got so much replayability. Another Big King Bacon question. Top 3 people, alive or dead, that you'd love to have a few beers with and play your collection with. Ooh, that's hard. 3 people. Tupac. Who else is there? That's really hard. Dave Perry, why not? And one other. Violet Billion, of course. That'd be a random night, wouldn't it? Jesus Christ. Right. LFC Gamer asks, did you play Zool back in the day? And if so, what did you think of it? Yeah, I played it on the Amiga. It's alright, decent little platformer. A little bit too fast, I felt, a bit slippy, but yeah, not bad. Are you planning on doing pickups for the PlayStation 1 in the future? I don't know, mate, because I don't even know, honestly, if I'm going to be buying any games for it anytime soon. If I do, then yes, I will. So we'll see. Does it annoy you when someone gets triggered over something pointless? Always, mate. Social media. What the hell's wrong with people? Something to me that's pointless is things like The Last Jedi. People just going ape shit over it, and I'm like, it's a film, man. So, guys, usual thing. Camera died half an hour in. The bloody phone goes off as always. So yeah, I was answering LFC Gamer's question. Does it annoy you when someone gets triggered over something pointless? As I said, yeah, absolutely. Like, as I said with The Last Jedi, people on social media that just go mental. Same with DC and Marvel. I just don't get that people don't understand things. It's like, it's like the DC films. I absolutely love them. Massive fan of the DCEU. But, over the box office period for each of the films, it's gone like that. So I think at the end of the day, why can't people understand that it's time to reboot the franchise? I'm not happy about it. I love the films. They're fantastic. But I'm also realistic. People just seem, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's generational and it's younger people, not so much older. I don't know. Or if it's everybody. There's just lunatics out there who just don't understand basic stuff and just get angry for no reason. But people just get so pissed off about the most pointless bloody thing. And some of the things you see on social media as well, when people get really angry because somebody says something they don't like. And I think, look, man, there's more important things in the world. There's North Korea. There's Donald Trump. There's, global warming. There's so many things you could be angry about that actually matter. Starvation, hunger, war. And all you care about is that someone made a comment about somebody. It's like, who gives a shit, really? It's not relevant. It's not important. I don't know. I think people have gotten really dumb because of that. Anyway. And the bloody thing fires me back up to the top as always. Right, Lee Jeezy asks, got a double barrel question for you. Can I get your thoughts on the Neo Geo, and would you ever consider using MAME or Pandora's box system as a way of accessing affordable Neo Geo games or the arcade versions? I like the Neo Geo, it's a good system. I've owned an AES in the past, I've owned the 2 CD systems, I've owned a MAME cabinet. So yes, I love MAME, MAME's brilliant. That's probably the only way I play the arcade games now. Yeah, and then so Neo Geo stuff like I love Art of Fighting 3, great game. But I mean, I will never ever get into Neo Geo collecting or anything because, yeah, ridiculous. I mean, it's expensive as a kid. It's even more expensive now. That's a rich man's game. So yeah, but no, I like Neo Geo. So I'll be honest with you, when I owned one, I didn't think it was amazing. It didn't blow me away or anything. But it's a good system. Some decent little games on it. I just think it's ridiculously overpriced for what they are. Right, and the last question comes from Dylan Craven. Thank you, Dylan. Who asks, when do people stop using the phrase joypad and use controller instead? Yeah, I know, it's weird though, isn't it? I mean, when I was a kid, it was always a joypad. And then I think it was probably PlayStation that probably started that, I reckon. And for some reason over the years, it's just become that it's a controller. But you're absolutely right, mate. It's a joypad. Joystick, joypad. Yeah. Then again, when do people start calling computers consoles? That annoys the shit out of me. When you see it on eBay and that, people listing Amiga as a console. It's a bloody computer. It's got a keyboard, you blind twat. Honestly. Anyway. So there you go, guys. That's the questions for this Christmas edition of Ask Snes. Thank you very much to everyone who asked me a question. I do appreciate it. If, of course, you do have a question about anything at all, whatever's on your mind, leave it down in the comments and I'll answer it in the next video. So thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your Christmas, guys, and I'll see you in the next year.